OK, Newsbeat, 12:45, Roisin.
And this lunchtime, a serving police officers being held over the suspected murder of Sarah Everard.
Sarah's disappearance in these awful and wicked circumstances, I know, are every family's worst nightmare.
Detectives are searching Woodland in Kent, where human remains were found yesterday.
Newsbeat.
It's got loads of you talking, saying how you feel about safety and walking alone, especially in the dark.
That's happened to so many women. All my friends have experienced that. When men stop you in the street to try to talk to you and you're like, please, I'm not interested, and they carry on bothering you. Those things is what's making it even more scary for that.
We'll get into that, but first, with the latest on the case, here's Newsbeat's Duncan Middleton.
Newsbeat.
BBC Newsbeat.
Sarah's smiling face still looks out from countless posters stuck to trees, lampposts and windows close to where she was last seen. But the search now appears to be over. 50-odd miles away, teams of officers and sniffer dogs began hunting through woods in Ashford in Kent. And last night,
Detectives and search teams investigating Sarah's disappearance have found, very sadly, what appears to be human remains.
the head of the Metropolitan Police, Cressida Dick, looking visibly shaken because...
The news today that it was a Metropolitan Police officer who was arrested on suspicion of Sarah's murder has sent shockwaves and anger through the public and through the Met.
So many questions, but what do we know? Sarah left a friend's house around 9 p.m. last Wednesday. Police think she walked across a large common before CCTV picked her up half an hour later, walking alone by a main road. She's not been seen since. On Tuesday, a police officer whose job is to patrol government buildings was arrested in Kent. He wasn't on duty when Sarah vanished. A woman's also been arrested on suspicion of helping an offender. So far, no one has been charged.
Sarah's disappearance in these awful and wicked circumstances, I know, are every family's worst nightmare.
Stories like this cause shock, partly because they are so rare. But that doesn't change how it makes people, especially women, feel.
Women in London and the wider public, perhaps particularly those in the area where Sarah went missing, will be worried and maybe feeling scared.
And on Saturday night, a vigil will be held near where Sarah was last seen for women who feel threatened on the streets. Hannah Birdie's organising it.
Every woman can really empathise with the experience. We all hold our keys in our fists when we walk home after dark. We all wear bright clothes and stick to main roads. And even when you do all of those things right, as it were, you still feel at risk.
Newsbeat.
BBC Newsbeat.
So let's talk about safety then. Loads of discussion on social about this. Women saying they don't feel comfortable walking alone, especially at night. Newsbeat's Annabelle Rackham's been looking into it.
We've been hearing from a lot of you this morning.
Hi, I'm Laura. As a woman, I feel that as soon as the sun goes down, that's it for me. I can't go out alone. Simple things like what I'd give to be able to feel comfortable to go out for a run in the dark with headphones in after work and not fear for my safety the entire time.
Hi, my name is Sophia. I'm 25 years old. I live in London. When it's already dark, I would kind of look around, make sure that I'm on the main road. I would never go to the side street or anything like that. I either take a taxi or make sure that I'm not alone.
And for a lot of women, they don't feel safe in the daytime too, like Frankie.
Everywhere I walk, I have my keys and my phone in my hand. Just because the sun is out doesn't mean you're safe from somebody following you or shouting at you. And it's a daily occurrence that someone either shouts something or starts following me.
Seema also says she's had enough of men following her.
You think it is literally, these scary men. That is just not that. It's also the fact that men catcalling, that bothers us. Why are you whistling at me?
Shadow Domestic Abuse Minister Jess Phillips also wants more done to protect people.
The message that needs to be sent is that male violence is something that has to be tackled and challenged, and the justice system and society has to wake up to that, because at the moment we just simply don't take it seriously as we take other crimes.
So loads of you talking about the precautions you take when you go out. Others pointing out the response to violence shouldn't be to make women have to behave differently. shortly. Natalie Collins is from the group We Can't Consent to This. Natalie, what advice do you have?
Listen to your fear. I think one of the things that we as women are told to do is to shut down our feelings, to shut down our fear, and to ignore the discomfort and the anxiety we feel. So I think the first thing we need to do, one of the most radical acts women can do, is listen to their feelings and listen to what's going on for them and take action based on that. But I think at the same time, there needs to be a recognition that this is not going to be solved by us taking more and more precautions. This is going to be solved by men choosing not to be violent towards women. So I think talk to the women that you know and talk about your concerns. Don't just squash those concerns down and think, oh, I'm being stupid, I'm being dramatic. The reality is that as women, we are constantly under threat.
This is
Newsbeat.